Now for a look at the geopolitical impact of the French election results, we're joined by former U.S. diplomat Bart Markoi. Explain what happened in France's election this weekend and why it matters, Bart.
Sure. Good to be with you guys. Yeah, what happened there was it was an expected victory by the right-wing party, the Rassemblement National. The leftists, the far left and the center left united and colluded, and each one withdrew candidates. If there were three candidates in a constituency, one of the two left-leaning parties would drop out to force a bipartisan, a binary choice between the right and the center and center left. And so they were able to pull off a much larger victory than had been expected. They pulled a victory out of defeat by colluding that way. The trouble is they did not do anything that will erase the underlying problems in France that led to the rise of the right wing in the first place.
Okay, and what are those underlying problems, and how will having a hung parliament affect France's ability to deal with them?
The underlying problems are first economic. The cost of living is skyrocketing. The affordability of housing is out of reach of most French men and women, and the immigration coming in from especially North African and West African countries is threatening to overwhelm big cities and even small villages in France. There are places in France where that are considered no-go zones. And there was an attempt a couple of years ago to discredit that term. But the fact remains that it's very difficult for somebody who is not Muslim to enter some of the banlieue, the suburbs surrounding the outer ring of Paris, which have super majorities of Muslim residents.
What effect could this have on NATO, on the EU?
Well, Macron, the president, retains the power to appoint ambassadors, and he retains some control over, some influence over foreign policy. But if the far left wing of this cohabitation government, this coalition government, gets to appoint the foreign minister and the defense minister, well, their first moves will be to cut defense spending and to appoint ambassador, to force Macron to appoint ambassadors or to fund foreign policy initiatives that favor socialist, communist, leftist priorities over NATO priorities. It might have an impact on the French support for Ukraine, possibly, depending on which of the three parties takes control over the foreign policy portfolios in the cabinet.